Let's take a look at other ways that we measure how much solute is in a solution. So what we're going to look at here is concentration. So concentration, we have a lot of different measures for how much solute we have in different solutions. So for example, we have mass percent, which uses units of mass. So we have grams of solute compared to the grams of solution. Volume percent, which uses volumes. Typically we work with milliliters in this one. Mass volume percent, which compares the mass of the solute, so in grams, to the milliliters of the solution. So we'll take a look at that in more depth. And molarity, which compares the moles of the solute to the liters of the solution. So we'll take a look at how we calculate all of those in a separate video. But first we want to think about why we have so many different units. There's a lot of different units when it comes to concentration because we have different units based on the phases of our solutions. So are we working with solids, liquids, gases? How are they combined to form the solution? We also look at the different ways that we make solutions or combine them because we want units that are convenient. They make sense for either the final use of the solution, so what are we using this stuff for, or that makes sense for making the solution in the first place. Ideally, we would have units that work for both making the solution and what we're going to actually use it for at the end. Unfortunately, that's not always the case, and you'll see that quite frequently in the real world, where you have something that's in units that it's not terribly helpful to you right then. That's why we're going to really talk about how these units work so that you can then do conversions and do every other types of calculations on them to make it into units that make sense to you. If you can't decipher the units that you're working with, then it can become very dangerous. So you do want to make sure that you have an idea of what concentration you're working with, what are the units. Always, always, always when you're working with concentrations, when you're working with solutions, what is the concentration? You need to know that. And what are the units of it? That means that units are going to be critical for all the types of calculations that you do involving solutions.